What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another episode of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue. This week's episode is going to be a little unique because I'm just going to review the 2022 10 of the Pharaoh's Gods and just give you guys my thoughts on the set, whether or not it's worth buying the tins or buying them as singles. And if you guys notice my voice, I'm tired as fuck right now, literally. Excuse me. I couldn't get much sleep because somebody in this house decided to buy food off of Amazon Fresh. And when the clock struck 11, the food didn't show up. So I basically got little to no sleep. That and my sinuses have kicked in, even though it's almost fall. Usually it happens in the spring, but I do apologize for the sickness. No, it's not COVID. Don't get it twisted. Anyway, guys, let's get straight into it. So the 2022 10 of the Pharaoh's Gods have cards from, from sets that came out, that came out last year. Sets like Lightning, Overdrive, Dawn of Majesty, even also cards that were seen in that were seen in structured decks, and even also in some of the side sets that we had seen last year, including I think, what was it, Brothers of Legend, if I remember correctly, if I'm not mistaken. So there's quite a few cards that are in this set. You're basically getting pretty much everything from that was released from within the last year, and honestly, I'm excited for this one because of the fact that not only are we getting reprints of all of these new cards, we're also getting reprints of older cards as well, cards that we had seen in previous sets, over the last like 20 years or so. We're seeing a bunch of crazy cards, even cards that might not seem broken, but really they are. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it. I don't need to go over any of their effects. I've already talked about those about them on the channel, so there's really no need. But let's just get straight into it. So first up, we have Armed Dragon Thunder level 10, Thunder level 7, 5, and 3. Plus we have Armed Dragon level 10 white, which is basically Armed Dragon, when it's equipped with when it was equipped with White Veil, which I'm surprised that White Veil could actually become meta with the deck, crazy enough. Tri-Brigade Kit, which I believe was one of the combo extenders of the deck, if I'm not mistaken. Wind Witch Blizzard Bell, Wind Witch Freeze Bell, which I think that's an older card if I remember correctly. Fabled Marcosia, the Fabled Abunk, Metal Foes Vanisher, Constellar, Caduceus, I believe is how it's pronounced, Mahavilo, Light of the Heavens, Machina Unclasper, which I believe is used for the gadgets, if I remember correctly. Live Twin, Little Treat, excuse me, Heavenly Zephyr Miradora, Fairy Archer Ingunar, Radiant Vower Varosense. I'm literally butchering these names. I'm sorry. Amano Kujaki is how it's as I believe I pronounce that. Guitar Gernard's Duonigus. Duonigus, I believe is how it's pronounced. Yeah, I know these names might sound weird and might sound not what you think, but it's basically how you would pronounce it, basically. White baking, which I'm surprised that Skull Servant ever became a deck, which is hilarious. Parametalville's Azortless. Windwitch Diamond Bell, which I believe that's a really old card, if I'm not mistaken. Fabled Anrath, Dragoonity Knight, Gormfabar. I know, guys, I know, these names are just so weird. Sacred Tree Beast, Hyperiton, which I believe this was basically the VFD, which I believe was the poor man's VFD, if I'm not mistaken. Heavy Metal Foes, Amalgam? I don't know. Underworld Goddess of the Closed World, Armed Dragon Flash, Armed Dragon Blitz, Armed Dragon Lightning, Tri-Brigade Rendezvous, Windwitch Chimes, Stairway to a Fabled Realm, Parametalful's Fusion, Archfiend Staff of Despair, which actually is a pretty cool one. So if you guys have, there might be some cards that I might talk about. This is one of them. So the effective Archfiend's Staff of Despair reads: equip only to a monster you control. During your main phase, you can make all monsters you currently controls. All monsters your opponent currently controls lose attack equal to half the equipped monster's attack until the end of the turn, even if this card leaves the field. If this card is sent to the grave while equipped to a monster, you can pay 1,000 life points. Return this card to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. So with this card, it's basically Axe of Despair, but even better, because instead of putting it back on top of the deck, you're adding it to your hand instead, which basically gives you card advantage over your opponent, and also it can help you win. It can help you break your opponent's board depending on what their board looks like, which is actually not too bad. Moving on though, Pot of Prosperity, which, I mean, to be fair, it's not too bad of a card, but it does have its drawbacks. By the way, shoutouts to Coke, shoutouts to Coca-Cola. Truth be told, this was imported from Mexico. Funny enough, shoutouts to them. Not sponsored, just prefer that over pretty much any other Coke you could think of. Anyway, moving on, we have Armed Dragon Thunderbolt, Dogmatica Genesis, Icy Breeze Refrain, which I believe this is for the Windwitch. Yeah, which is basically their Monster Reborn, which is actually kind of funny. Fabled Treason, Virtual World Gate, Zhuangwu, I believe is how it's pronounced. EMR, which is the name of a card. I think I talked about that one as well. Tribute one machine monster that target a card on the field for every 1,000 original attack of the tributed monster. Destroy those cards. But yeah, basically it just lets you pop cards on your opponent's board, which is pretty cool. Angel Statue, Azurne, Materiactor Gigarda, Cordius the Triphasic Dealman, which I believe you do need 3 monsters. You need a Synchro, Exceeds, and a Link, which is pretty cool. Is it worth using? No, it really isn't. I mean, yes, it does. Yes, it does give you. Yes, it does allow you to add, spells and traps from your grave back to your hand. Yes, it can pop cards on your opponent's board, but the downside to it is that they can easily out it. It's the only downside. Excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. Materiactor Gigaboros, Steel Star Regulator, Breath of Acclamation, which they actually fucked up on when the card was released. I think in, I want to say Lightning Overdrive, if I'm not mistaken. They called it as a normal spell, which it was not, because it was supposed to have been a ritual spell, not a normal spell. So they fucked up on there. And then once we got, what was it, one of the OTS packs, the card did get reprint, and they changed it to being a ritual spell, which is kind of hilarious. Greater Polymerization. This card is busted. So good with heroes. I recommend you play this card with heroes, especially if you summon Vision. If you summon a card like, say, Vision Hero Trinity, Greater Polymerization would be nutty. Reinforcement of the army's troops, which actually is not too bad. It's not too bad because you can basically just summon a monster from your hand, which is pretty cool. Psychic Eraser, Laser, Synchro Transmission, War Rock Skylar. I don't know why the hell War Rocks are being considered a top tier deck, because War Rocks suck. Okay? Somebody tell Farfa War Rocks will never be meta. They just suck. Even if they were to get, new support, especially for the extra deck, it's still gonna suck no matter what. That's just me saying it anyway. Virtual World Otohime Tutu, Diviner the Herald, a pretty busted card. Zexal Weapon, Pegasus Twin Saber, Zexal Servant, Armed Sage, and Ascended Sage, which those two together are just absolutely insane. Insane. Rox Rose Dragon, Rudy Rose Dragon, Danmari Ignister, Traptrix Vesicula, which I talked about this card when I was talking about the Traptrix structure deck, which, if you guys haven't checked out that video, I recommend you check it out. I don't know why we're getting a Traptrix structure deck. The deck is not that good, and it's not as good as it was like 7 years ago. It's bad. Live Twin, Kill Frost, Black Eyes, the Plunder Patrol Sea Guide, Judge of the Ice Barrier, Scrap Raptor, which still pretty busted to this day, funny enough. Dark Honest, I never thought we would ever get a dark version of Honest, which is hilarious. Bahalutia, the Grand Radiance, Pharaonic Guardian Sphinx, Ankamorphite, I believe is how it's pronounced, Dark Eye Nightmare, Yamori Mori, I believe is how you say it, Otoshi Damashi, I actually said that right the first time, that's crazy, White Knight of Dogmatica, Albion the Branded Dragon, Rudy Rose Dragon, Garden Rose Flora, Lavalval X-Lore, which I believe that was in, was it Ghost from the Past, if I remember correctly, and Starmine, I think it was also in there. Starmine, Ultimate Dragonic Utopia Ray, Zexal Weapon Dragonic Halberd, Rilliona the Wondrous Majesty Witch Wardrobe, was it Genesis Impact? No. Majesty. I want to say it was Genesis Impact. Yeah, I was right. I was right. I think it was Genesis Impact, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I think it was Genesis Impact. Drytron Mew Benefafnir, Tri-Brigade Bearbrum, the Rampant Rampager, Dark Infant Ignister, Traptrix Colaria, Paleozoic Cambrorister, I was how it's pronounced, Line of the Light Charmer Lustrous, Rank Up Magic Zexal Force, Zexal Construction, Zexal Entrust, Branded in White, Basil Rose Shoot, I Meet You, You and I, Bujin Candescence, Birth of the Prominence Flame. Book of Lunar Eclipse, which is a pretty cool one. One Curry Way. Sorry guys, something got caught on my tongue. Now it's in my tooth. Hidden Spells of the Far East, Zexal Alliance, Screams of the Branded, Judgment of the Branded, Proof of Proofless, Throne, the Discipled, the Disciplined Angel. Oh, there it is. Pendransation, I believe is how it's pronounced. Expendable Die, Terrors of the Underroo, Edith the Sun Magician, Stay Sailor Romarin, Triple D, Super Sight King Zero Maxwell, Binary Blader, Sun Avalon Daphne, Sun Avalon Melius, Sun Vine Crossbreed, B Trooper Scout Buggy, Converging Wills Dragon, Stardust Synchron, Stardust Trail, Despian Comedy, Despian Tragedy, Albert the Jester of Despia. Yeah, so cards from sets like Dawn of Majesty, Lightning Overdrive, I think Ghost from the Past, and also some structure deck cards are also being printed in this set as well, which is pretty cool. Dramaturge of Despia, Albion the Sharded Dragon, Klavkis the Magic Key Sky Blaster, Gunkin Suship Shari, Gunkin Suship Ikura, Chronomaly Magala Globe, Gizmek Inaba the Hopping Hare of Hakudo, Gizmek Naganaki the Sunrise Signaler, Gizmek Tangiguku the Immobile Intellect, Gizmek Arakami the Halabringer Hog, Carpiponica the Mystical Beast of the Forest, Glacier Agua Madur, Masters Diploman, Slower Swallow, Aeropix 3, which I don't think Aeropix 3, I think that might be a world premiere card. Let's see what it does. Aeropix 3, 1-star Wind Fairy Tuner, with 200 attack and defense. Once per turn as a quick effect, you can target a face-on monster your opponent controls in this card's column, move this card you control to another of your main monster zones, and if you do, that opponent's monster to their main monster zone in this card's column. Then place one bump counter on it. Monsters with bump counters lose 200 attack and defense for each bump counter on it. Ew. Okay. Oh, so it's basically similar to the Mech Knight strategy. Okay, I see. Magic Key, Mech Musket, Bateau's Buster, I believe is how it's pronounced. Magic Key, Mech Mortar, Garrus Glasser, Despian Quaritus, Despian Proskenian, Magic Key Beast and Syllabolus, I believe is how it's pronounced. Magic Key Dragon, Androbeam, Alvain, the Essence of Vanity, which was the 2-star fusion of Vanilla Fusion. Stellar Wind Wolfrayet, which actually is a pretty busted card. Pretty busted. I don't think I have that card, unfortunately. Guy Armor Dragon Shell, Gunkin Suship Ikura Glass Dreadnought, Chronomaly Vimana, Volfernicus, the Darkest Dragon Doom Rider, Dragonlark Perrin, Stardust Illumination, Majestic Absorption, Despia Theater the Branded Opening, Branded Bond, Magic Key Maftia, Magic Key World, Gunkin Suship, Seaside Super Spot, Sacred Scrolls of the Gizmek Legend, Live Twin Sunny's Snitch, High Ritual Art, Ready Fusion, Synchro Overtake, Pendulum Treasure, Majestic Mirage, Majesty Duo, Majesty Unlocking, Gunkin' Suit Ship Daily Special, Monster Assortment, Beast King Unleashed. Ooh, excuse me. Excuse me, there we go. Excuse me. Baby Mud Dragon, Pazuzel, B-Trooper Scale Bomber, B-Trooper Sting Lancer, B-Trooper Armor Horn, Giant B-Trooper Invincible Atlas, B-Trooper Formation, B-Trooper Fly and Sting, Link Apple, Flying Red Carp, which I don't think I ever talked about that one, 4-star Water Fish, 500 attack and defense, quick effect, you can discard a water monster, this card gains 500 attack. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you contribute this card. Special summon a fish, sea serpent, or aqua from your hand or deck. And you can only use each effect once per turn. Oh, so it basically just gives you it's basically a recruiter of sorts, which that ain't too bad. Dino Wrestler, Iguana Draca, Shinobi Insect, Haga, Kurimino, Trickstar Festival, Goki, Finishing Move. Heritage of the Light. Let's see. Rocket Caliber. Incredible Ecclesia of the Virtuous. Ice Jade Acti. Ice Jade Tinola. Ice Jade Tremora. Ad Libitum of Despia. Flowunderies and Snowl. Flowunderies and Robina. Elgin. Stree. Token. Empin. And of course, Empin. Those are the Flowunderies monsters. Destiny Hero Denier. Magnificent Magiki Maftiel. Gunkin' Suit Ship Uni. Gunkin' Suit Ship Shuro. Machina Ruin Force. Mimicking Man-Eater Bug. Lord of the Heavenly Prison. Undaunted Bumpkin Beast. Mouse Click. Masquerade the Blazing Dragon, DPE. Yes, DPE is actually reprinted in the tins, which is hilariously crazy. Yeah, Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer is pretty insane. Ultimate Flagship Ursatron, Magiki Fiend Transformine, Zora the Majesty's Conflagrant Calamity, Magiki Spirit Vipardu, Gunkin' Suit Ship Uniclass Super Dreadnought, Gunkin' Suit Ship Shuro Class Carrier, Evil Twins Trouble Sunny, branded in High Spirits, Ice J Cradle, branded in red, Flowunderies and the Magnificent Map, Flowunderies and the Unexplored Woods, Magiki Battle, Sunvine Sowing, Supernatural Danger Zone, Small World, which... Small World is Small World, it's just too busted. Not much to say about that. Magic Key Cylinders, which basically gives you Magic Cylinder, which is hilarious. Flowunderies and the Dreaming Town, Flowunderies and the Scary Sea, Magic Key Locking, Stained Glass of Light and Dark, which I believe can work with the Chaos decks, but it can also work, or I guess maybe, or actually it works with the, I want to say the Monarchs, maybe? I'm not sure. Laundry Trap, Night Sword Serpent, DD Assault Carrier, Abyss Keeper, Apex Predation, B-Trooper Assault Roller, B-Trooper Light Flapper, Heavy B-Trooper, Mighty Neptune, Ultra B-Trooper Absolute Hercules, B-Trooper Descent, B-Trooper Landing, B-Trooper Squad, Flip Frozen, which is another card I don't think I ever talked about. What does this do? 1-star Water Cypers, 500 attack and defense. If this card is sent to the grave, change all attack position monster your opponent controls to defense. Oh, so it's basically a no entry. It's basically a no entry, which is pretty good. It's not too bad, but still that's pretty cool. Brave Drive, Rebuild Deer, Threshold Borg, Cynet Cross Swipe, Danger Disturbance Disorder, Cynet Cascade, and then the rest of the reprints are old school reprints, okay? The ones that I talked about all the way up to Cynet Cascade, those are all cards that were seen in some of the previous sets from within the last year. But these cards are absolutely nuts. Because this next batch of cards are just absolutely insane. They're pretty random. They're pretty random reprints, but they're really good. So we have Contract with the Abyss, Earth Chant, which I believe is an old school card from Strike and Neos, if I remember correctly. I know that Contract with the Abyss was in, I think it was a card from the DM era. I want to say it was Dark Crisis, if I remember correctly. Sprite's Blessing, Lightning Storm, which is a card that was released in Lightning Overdrive. Was Lightning Overdrive? No. Blazing Vortex. It was in Blazing Vortex from a couple of years ago. Crazy enough. Forbidden Droplet. I think that was in Rise of the Duels, if I remember correctly. And then we got the Ghost Sister hand traps. We have Ghost Ogre, Ghost Reaper, Ash Blossom, Ghost Belle, Ghost Sister, and Ghost Mourner. Who would ever thought that the Ghost Sister hand traps would be reprinted in tins again? Crazy. Nibiru is reprinted in these tins. Dark Ruler No More, Dimension Shifter, Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, Crossout Designator, Blue Eyes White Dragon, and Red Eyes Black Dragon, which have the Bondi artworks, which I'm hoping to pull those, and Dark Magician Girl, which is another artwork for her, which is pretty awesome. And then we have a few new cards that I'm going to be talking about in today's video. Two of them I think I had already talked about, but I'm going to talk about them again. So first up, we have Dual Tower, which is a field spell, and it reads: at the start of each battle phase, each player can reveal one monster from their deck that does not have question mark attack. You can banish them face down. Then the player who revealed the monster with the highest attack, each player, if tied, can special summon a monster from their hand, and it can attack directly while on the field. Once per turn during the end phase, you can activate this effect. If you control this card during the end phase of your next turn, destroy all cards on the field. So it basically just gives you access to pop your opponent's board, as long as you don't have any cards on board. Excuse me. Aside from the field spell, which is not too bad. Next up, we have Rainbow Bridge of Salvation, which is a trap card, a normal trap, and it reads: if there are two or more different monster types among the level 10 or higher monsters on the field, shuffle all cards except this one from both players' hands, fields, and graveyards into the deck, and then each player draws 5 cards. You can banish this card from your grave, add 1 Crystal Beast monster and a field spell from your deck to your hand. You can only apply each effect once per duel. So this is basically a morphing jar for the whole deck, which is pretty nuts. Or sorry. Let me rephrase that. It's basically a fiber jar. A fiber jar in trap form, which is pretty cool. Then we have Link into the Vrains, which is a normal spell, and it reads: special summon one monster from your hand but negate its effects. Then immediately after this effect resolves, Link summon a Link monster using monsters you control as material, including that monster. This Link summon cannot be negated, and your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when a monster is Link summoned this way. If a Link monster or monsters you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, while this card is in your grave, you can manage this card, add a monster from your grave to your hand with the same original type as one of those destroyed monsters. You can only activate 1 Link into the Vrains per turn. So this is basically a way. So this is basically dark. This is basically just a way to help you make access code talker like that. Not much else to say about it. There's really not much to say about it. Next up, we actually have not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 new cards for the Egyptian gods. So I am definitely going to be updating my Egyptian god deck, which I will be doing that at some point. I don't know when, but I've got work to do with with that deck. But first up, we have Soul Energy Max, which is a normal trap, and it reads, if you control Obelisk the Tormentor, whose original attribute is Divine, in your monster zone, tribute 2 other face-up monsters, destroy as many monsters your opponent controls as possible, and if you do, inflict 4,000 damage to your opponent. During the main or battle phase, you can target this. You can banish this card from your grave, add 1 Obelisk the Tormentor from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Then immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon Obelisk. You can normal summon Obelisk the Tormentor. You can only use each effect once per turn. Yeah, this is basically Obelisk's effect on steroids, which is pretty crazy. And I just realized my brother just texted me. Hang on, guys. My brother just texted me, like, from out of the blue. Let's see. There we go. Anyway, yeah. So basically, if you have Obelisk on board, you can basically you can just sack 2 of your monsters to just break your opponent's board, deal them 4,000 damage, normal summon Obelisk, and then just go for game if possible. That's actually not too bad. Next up, we have the Revived Sky God, which this is for Slifer, and the effect of this trap card reads: the activation of this card or its effects cannot be negated, nor can its effect be negated. Special summon 1 Slifer the Sky Dragon from your graveyard, then each player draws until they have 6 in their hand. You can banish the card from your grave, place 1 Monster Reborn from your deck or grave on top of your deck. Then if a Divine Beast is in your grave, draw 1 card. You can only use each effect once per turn. This is basically Card of Sanctity from the anime, where you draw until you have 6 in your hand, and then you get to draw yet another card if you have like let's say you have Obelisk in your graveyard, you get to draw yet another card, which gives you 7. That's 7 cards, and Slifer would gain 7,000 attack. Do I even have to say anything else? I don't think so. But next up, we have the Breaking Rumen God, which is a quick play spell, and it reads: the activation of this card or its effects cannot be negated, nor can its effects be negated. Special summon 1 Obelisk the Tormentor from your hand or grave, and if you do, it is unaffected by your opponent's card effects this turn. If you tribute 2 or more monsters you control at the same time to activate your card or effect while you control Obelisk the Tormentor, you can banish this card from your grave, banish all monsters in your opponent's grave, and if you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each. You can only use each effect once per turn. This is basically a burn strategy where you can deal your opponent a fuck ton of damage and then deal an additional 4,000 damage to your opponent, which basically gives you game right then and there, which is absolutely nutty. And then of course we have a new card, for the Winged Dragon Raw, and it is known as the True Sun God, and it is a continuous spell, which reads: when this card is activated, add 1 the Winged Dragon Raw or a card that mentions it from your deck to your hand except this card. Monsters except the Winged Dragon Raw cannot attack the turn they are special summoned. Once per turn, during your main phase, you can send this card from your field or 1 Winged Dragon Raw Immortal Phoenix from your deck to your grave, then send 1 Winged Dragon Raw from your monster zone to your grave. You can only activate 1 the True Sun God per turn. So this basically just lets you add Raw Sphere Mode to your hand, or you can add Raw Immortal Phoenix to your hand just off of this alone, which is absolutely nuts. So just by looking at these cards, right? I know I took long just reading off the names and revealing the set list, but I wanted to showcase to you guys how crazy these tins are. I mean, think about it. You're getting cards that were extremely expensive when they were released. You know, cards such as, wait, let me try and, you know, cards such as, you know, such as the, you know, the Sacred Tree Beast, Underworld Goddess, Pot of Prosperity, what else? Greater Polymerization, Diviner the Herald, the Zexal cards, Dark Honest, Pot of Prosperity I mentioned, DPE, Rudy Rose Dragon. All these cards, a lot of these cards were extremely expensive when they were first released, but now they're being reprinted. So obviously they'll be a lot more easier to get. But it also, but the question does become: does it lower the value of the original? And the answer is no, it does not, because of the fact that even though these cards are getting reprinted in the tins, once they get reprinted in future sets, you know, such as structure decks or side sets or whatever, then yes, eventually the price of the original will indeed go down. But the question is, are they worth it? Is it worth buying the tins sealed, or should you just buy the singles? Honestly, definitely get the tins, because this is a really nutty tin. In fact, I think all three tins, these tins, last year's tins, the 2020 tins, and even also as well the 2019 tins were just just as busted as well. I mean, the cards that were in the 2019 tins, you had cards such as Nibiru, Dark Rule No More, Dimension Shifter. I think the 2020 tins gave us Red Eyes, Dark Dragoon, and Crossout, if I remember correctly. So getting to see all these cards reprinted, and even also getting to see these new cards get printed after all this time, is absolutely insane. So I recommend you, yes, get the tins. Don't buy the singles. Buy the tins, because I'm going to be doing the exact same thing. And the tins will be released on the 16th this month, so that's in just a few days. That's in almost, I think, in about a week. So sometime this month I am going to be getting the tins. I don't know when, but I will be getting them, and I will do a couple of openings on them. I might open up like maybe 1 or 2 tins, and then keep the others sealed, because obviously you know that they can age very well over time. But that brings me to the question of the day: what cards do you guys think should have been printed in these tins? Let me know down in the comments below, and that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want to see more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, which gets posted every Friday, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you guys do not miss out on any new content that comes your way. And as always, make sure you guys follow me on all of my social media. Links will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.